Alright. Oh, great, well that was a waste of money. It's a little better, I guess. Wear the hat. Sort of looks dorky. It's fine. It'll be alright. Okay. Well, hello kids and kidlets. Merlin here, just an old man. And I got the opportunity the other day to go and see Dreamcatcher live here in Minneapolis. The world tour they're going through, July 9th, they were in Minneapolis. I got to go. It was awesome. Picked up tickets a while back. I got tickets for a few friends. There was probably, I don't know, 6 of us in the group, 2 of whom were my nephew and his wife, my niece Few. They're both music teachers, and I told them, you really should go to this because this is the music that you're going to be dealing with for the next 20 years. And they jumped on it. Didn't have to twist their arms too hard. Couldn't get my brother to go. But I had a couple students there. That was nice. And I figured I would walk through a little bit of it and tell you about it. You know, tell you what I thought of it. Yeah, and then I got a nice shirt, which was cool. But no one's ever going to see it. Whatever. I did get a hat, and I don't wear hats very often, so that'll hang on the wall nicely. They weren't selling light sticks because, of course, light sticks are hard to ship across the ocean and carry around. They'd have to have thousands of them, I'm assuming, and they didn't want to do that. That makes sense. Let's get into the concert. I'm going to suit myself up here. We won't do the whole concert, the whole however many, 2-3 hours, whatever it was, but I'll hit the highlights with you. Let's go. So, here's the venue. It's the Skyway Theater on Hennepin Avenue in downtown Minneapolis. It's not a huge place. It's all standing. There's a balcony up above. You can see I'm right behind the sound and light board. And then the guy, you can just barely see his head in front of me. He's got like the laptop with all the tracks in it, and he's sending stuff over to the sound guy who's off to the right. This guy in front of me was banging his head a little bit later on. But, so they came on. It was great. The stage isn't very big. We're real close. The first people at the theater got the front couple of rows. You pay extra for that, of course. It isn't real. Right next to me is my nephew and niece, and they had never been to a K-pop concert before. So they weren't familiar with any of the style, the ambiance, the talking, all that kind of stuff. They thought it was really cool. And a nice thing, something that I thought was really cool, was all of them are wearing denim of some sort, and they're like practically dressed like Minnesota farm girls, which is, they're in Minnesota. That was kind of cool. As they play, there were not loads and loads of light sticks. There were plenty. Some of them were like 6 feet long. There are a couple of like super extension ones. Probably 30 or 40 capes there. Kind of cool. They did Because to start with. Then they played Piri and Locked Inside a Door. Yeah, everyone liked. Dami's rapping got the biggest cheers pretty much throughout the night, which is kind of cool. But let's watch a little bit, and I'll hit some highlights coming up. at the concert, I guess the whole tour, they've had this big screen in the back where they're playing various different things. At times it's part of the videos, which is cool. Other times it's just shapes or crazy lights or things like that. But for those of us who know the videos, it was kind of cool to be able to see a little bit of that in the background. I was in a perfect position to get some great views of the choreography. Sorry for the shaky camera, but I was using my phone. Did a pretty good job. The phone did, not me. But it was a little bit shaky, but it was overall pretty good. And the sound even came through fairly well. For a while, this guy in front of me is banging his head. You know, it's a concert. Luckily, I'm really tall. Yeah. Nice hair, dude. Rock and roll. You get to see some of the longer light sticks there as we get to the end of the first song, of course, or the first set. They chat with us a little bit. I'll let them introduce themselves because it was kind of cool.
와우. 자, 인사부터 나눠볼까요? 둘, 셋. 내군가 Hi, we are Dreamcatcher. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. Oh, thank you. I'm Dreamcatchers. Yeah, kiss. Hi, hello. Hi. I'm Dreamcatchers. Eyes. Yes. Thank you. Hi. I'm Dreamcatchers. What? Hi.
And Minnesota is known for its wolves, so that was kind of cool.
I'm Charisma. Leadership.
Now listen to this.
What's up, guys? I'm Dreamcatchers. Your wife.
Your wife. Yeah, high point in my life, I gotta tell you that.
What? One more. Hi. I'm Dami. Nice to meet you.
Hot Guyon was commenting on the lack of air conditioning.
Apocalypse save us! Hello, Minneapolis! 유연이가 미니 애플이라고 했는데 이렇게 귀여운 애칭은 또 미니애플리스에 오게서 너무 기쁩니다.
You just mentioned the name Minneapolis, and I'm happy to be in Minneapolis where they have such a cute nickname.
강이 흐르는 모습도 너무 낭만적이었어요.
The river flowing through the city was also very romantic.
The Mississippi River flows through Minneapolis.
뭐랄까 smell good?
That person was...
너무 좋았어요.
That person who's screaming Sua, I love you, was about 10 people over to my right. Crazy.
I really liked it.
우리 공연을 시작하기 전에 다 같이 약속 하나 할까요?
Before we begin the show tonight, can we all make a promise?
During the show, for your safety, please don't push others forward. And if you're having a hard time during the show, don't hesitate to make a big X overhead or tell the others to help you. Safety is the most important thing for all of us, right? Let's go!
So, The venue is fairly warm. It's air conditioned, and the higher up, all the air conditioning is up on the ceiling, so the higher up you were, the better you felt. And luckily, I was in the balcony. So early on, they plays jazz bar, and of course, if you know the way Giu acts at a concert, I've seen enough footage to know she's running around back and forth and sort of freestyling the whole time. My niece commented afterwards, because about half of the numbers have choreography, organized choreography, and the rest of the time they're just sort of rambling about the stage. And my niece, the mother of 2 boys, commented on how it was great to see that they didn't always have to be doing the sexy choreography, and that a lot of times they were just mom dancing on the stage while they were singing. And she was probably the best example of the mom dancing that she was referring to. But interesting thing about the tickets. So I got my tickets. Everything that we had was down on the floor. And we were supposed to, as a matter of fact, right down, like in front of this person's head, okay? Right down in front of that are 2 of my students. They're standing down there. My other 2 students are up over my head to the left. There's another balcony up here. And so I could see them. But we were supposed to be down on the floor too. However, what happens here, the general admission is the floor, and if you get a balcony seat, you have access to the balcony and the floor. Well, the line for this concert went literally around the city block. It was, I don't know, miles long. And so a lot of the people at the front of the line had balcony tickets so they could get this view. But since they got there so early, of course, they got in, and they're all lined up down along the front. Now, the very front, of course, is front and second row VIPs, so they're all, reserved. But a whole bunch of the balcony people didn't go into the balcony. We were crowded down onto the floor, just tremendously tight, and starting to get hot. It's like 15 minutes before the show, and they even delayed the show a little bit. And they came in from the back of the theater and gathered up people. They said, hey, you want to go up into the balcony? And so, I don't know, 200 of us ended up in the balcony, even though we had front, ground floor tickets. So that was kind of cool. Now, I will admit, I haven't heard all of Dreamcatcher's discography, but they had 2 or 3 of their slower ballad songs. Only reason I know of them is because I looked at playlists from earlier shows, and so I was listening to them. And it was kind of cool. It was nice to hear, some relaxed singing songs rather than sort of the rocky stuff.
With our Dreamcatcher and Samya.
There's definitely something that our Samyas did for us this year.
And of course they bring up the win. First win. Yep. And everyone's excited about that.
좋아요.
Let's say thank you to our Samyas once again.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Now, when they're doing the black or white stage, you can see the theater was set up sort of Spartan in the back. There's just the curtain and the stage with their big screen on it. It's not a really elaborate venue, but it seems, I don't know, K-pop friendly. The week before Dreamcatcher was there, Golden Child was there, and I mentioned One Us was there like 3 or 4 months ago. And Itzy came through town just before the Corona apocalypse, you know. And they were here as well. Now, watch this. Sua, again, the handful. Watch her shoe. She literally ripped. Passion. She was dancing so passionately she broke her shoe. So she runs off and changes her shoes into these shorter boots for the rest of the concert. And the rainbow fan. Rainbows are... The rainbow community is big in Minneapolis. Very cool.
Even just till rehearsal, we were wondering how this place would be filled with our fans.
And it was packed. Completely full.
This is incredible.
우리 양쪽 끝에 계신 선녀분들도 잘 보이나요?
Are Sonya's on each side on the ends? Can you guys see as well?
시아 씨 오늘은 안 해줘요?
Shia, you're not gonna do it for us today?
Yes.
And I guess this has...
Okay. Listen. Yes, Minneapolis, yeah.
I hadn't heard of that before, but someone on Twitter asked if anyone had footage of that. And so I sent that to them. Yeah, see, now she's got her nice small shoes on. Now, if you recall, Sua dressed as a marble statue on Halloween one year. And so she's going to bring that up here.
그리고 지금 여기도 굉장히 좋은 게
One thing I really like here,
썸녀 중에서 제 석고상 분장을 하고 오신 분이 계세요.
there's someone who did the costume of my statue. I'll show you guys.
그러니까 와우. 근데 너무 인사해 주세요.
Can you say hello?
뒤를 돌고. Can you guys?
Can you turn around and say hello?
So you see, there's that when Sua was the white statue costume for Halloween. Now, meanwhile, you can't see it at all, but right down here in the front of the balcony, right down here, is a guy with like a 3-foot round panda head that he's wearing during the concert. So then they kicked it in for a couple more songs. So now they've been sitting to introduce their solos throughout the tour, and they have a little pouch that has these signed
In this pouch that we personally signed ready for you guys.
signed ping pong balls, and they'll throw them out in the audience. A couple of interesting things happened during this. Just want to hit them.
좋아요.
Can we sit down and do it?
Wachandong.
당겨서 앉아볼까요?
What is it? Should we pull our seats forward?
Wachandong.
진짜 살짝
Just a little bit.
와, 역시 천하장사. 힘세. 와우, 역시. 멋있다. 동동 멋있다. 와우.
She was pretty animated all night too. I'll give you that.
뽑아보겠습니다.
I'm gonna go ahead and pick first.
네. Let's go.
It almost hit the balcony.
Okay. Are you ready?
Sheehan had a pretty good throw. Again, almost hit the balcony. Then we get to Guyon.
To where?
아무 데나 던질게요.
I'm just gonna throw it in the air, okay?
There's a curtain right on the front edge of the stage, and it hit and went under the stage. It didn't make it into the audience at all. She gets another one later and throws it out into the audience. Yuyan, on the other hand, when she threw it out, someone accidentally hit it back onto the stage. And so she threw it out again later. But, of course, she's the last one in the bag.
혹시 1번으로 들어오신 분 있나요?
Who got in first today?
혹시 1번 있나요? 1번?
Number 1. First comer.
The guy raising his hand in the front.
수고하셨습니다.
Yep.
엄청 아침 일찍부터 내겼더라고요.
몇 시에 오셨어요?
What time were you in line from?
2 a.m. 2 a.m.
2 a.m.?
Oh,
Thank you so much. Okay, Dabi.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sonia.
There were two lines. The people that had the front row, the VIP tickets, were coming in one door, and the other line for the general admission was in another door. And you could tell who was who because in the line that this guy was in, there were a lot more capes and a lot more long light sticks. And on our side was sort of the normal fans. And there were 12 times as many normal fans because the front row, I think, was $100 extra, if I recall correctly. Then they did Break the Wall. And Xi'an is proving that she's got a hot mic. And then we get to the award-winning song. And this middle part of the concert was probably sort of the hottest section because they hit Break the Wall and Maison and Odd Eye sort of right in a row, which was kind of cool. Sort of a lot of the biggies, right? Which was really good.
하지만 네, 저희 모두가 알고 있을 거라고. 하지만
I'm reminded when Gayan is panting and breathing so heavy. When Red Velvet was in North Korea and she was panting and breathing and the audience all clapped and we all thought that was, cool. Well, Gayan is sitting here panting and breathing heavy and the Minnesotans all just kind of laugh at her. Yeah, that's the way it goes. But then they did Sahara, which is sweet. First time on the tour, like they said. They've been rotating the songs, of course, to keep it exciting for them. There was a couple other songs that, some things in New York, a couple of things they didn't do in Pennsylvania, and then when they got to Knoxville, they added a couple other in. And so they're doing it throughout the tour. And of course, Sahara is a real headbanger. So we got a little bit of headbanging going here. Not in the audience, of course. And they went on and did Silent Night and Scream after that. Nice thing though, as you get towards the end of Silent Night, it kicks into EDM. And if you're in the wrong venue, like a old place with wooden floors or whatever, it can get a little freaky. This place is all cement, so it was nice and solid. You couldn't feel a thing. The sound system was pretty decent. It never really overpowered. The bass never really sort of flattened out on the top. There's two big, you probably see them, two big rafts of speakers up on the top. And generally it's a real good venue. I'm hoping to see some more concerts there in the future. Kind of a cool thing I noticed during Scream, I've been wondering how they do this on a concert stage. Look at Dami. She grabbed the mask and she handed it in back of Guyan, and she puts it on, you know. And then she just flings it. You know, kind of cool.
소리와 함성 너무 듣고 싶었거든요.
맞아.
During the time we weren't able to perform, I really missed the cheers from you guys.
There's lots of comments like that over the course of the night. How happy they were to be back on the road.
So, Minneapolis? Are you guys ready to rock? Okay, then next song is called Deja Vu.
So then they hit Deja Vu. So just a clip of this great view of the choreography on stage. It's really, I mean, like with any concert, it's great to be live in the same room as them, as the people you're watching. But this was really a nice place to watch them from, too. And they put a lot of energy in all night long. They're all, like I say, sweating and mopping their brows. They got little fans going. They really gave it everything. It was really cool. So, after that, Boca, and then they started getting to the end of the show.
싶어서 우리 한번 사진 찍어볼까요?
I want to remember this precious moment for all of us, so should we take a picture together?
So they line it up,
1, 2,
they do the finger heart shot, and then of course, since it's rock and roll,
one more. No, one more. Scream. Yeah.
the devil horn shot,
1, 2, 3.
rock and roll. And the different concerts, different states they've been going to, I couldn't see the flag very well, but it's a Minnesota flag, and I think it has Dreamcatcher across the bottom. So they had a whole bunch of flags from the different venues they've been at, which is kind of cool. Last song? What? Last a song? No. Of course, lots of screaming. And they do Together.
We'll be together.
And then they disappear. But wait, there's more. So they came out like crazy people and they sang Wake Up, and then they sang Mayday, and then they ended on New Days. Ready for the drop. Sort of their Green Day phase. And as they're doing Mayday, they got their names flashing up in the back, which is kind of cool. Sort of as a final see you later. And while they're doing New Days, they have all these rainbow explosions behind them, which is sort of appropriate for Minneapolis, I think. And they wind up to the big finish. Again, bad camera work. GU jumping around like a nut. And then, of course, comes all of the goodbyes and stuff. And I turned my camera off because I had to wave and say goodbye and stuff as well. But that's the way the whole affair ended. With them back and forth across the stage waving, and they made sure to wave to the second floor and the third floor. And it was a really great concert overall. There have been a lot of reports that I've been reading over the course of the month that say that they've just been enthusiastic every single place, that they've packed every single place. Everything seems to be going well for them on this tour. And they're going to end up in Mexico, Mexico City. They have a show. And then I believe they're going to Texas for an anime thing. I'm not entirely sure about that, but that's what I think is happening. That's what I had heard. So I got to see him. I got to see him live. I thought that was really great. If you have any questions or comments, you're welcome to leave them below. Anything that, any other stuff you want to watch on the channel, you're welcome to subscribe and or like, whatever you feel. I'm really happy I got to go to the concert with some friends, got to see them live on stage. I thought it was really good. But what do I know? I'm just an old man. Rock and roll.